crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go.
He's heating up!
Take a look around you, look to find your way, man. Your way, man. Yeah, take a look around you, look to find your way, man.
Yeah, I talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments, you had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it.
He's heating up! He's heating up!
Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end.
He's heating up!
Yeah. It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, look to find your way, man. Your way, man. Yeah, take a look around you, look to find your way.
He's heating up!
Yeah, I talk is talk, and move is move. When I
Inconceivable!
got things to do. I done pay my dues. Come on, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments, you had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your heart like it's topical.
Clearly now, the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines when you find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
We got one dream in us. We got one scheme in us. One theme in us. My whole life in us. One love. One love. Got one dream in us. One love. One love. We got one scheme in us. One love. One love. That's one theme in us. One love. One love, my whole life. I said there's two of us, we got one dream and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Between the both of us, we got one scheme and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Our life together has one theme and that's one love. I said that's one love. I'd rather die than live my whole life without that one love. And you that one love. I said there's two of us, we got one dream. dream and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Between the both of us, we got one scheme and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Our life together has one theme and that's one love. I said that's one love. I'd rather die than live my whole life without that one love. And you that one love, girl. All these girls keep chasing views like they doing something. They ain't doing nothing. And all these boys keep making moves cause they assuming something. Everybody doing fake friends like they crew or something. But all these people make my stomach sick like the flu or something. They crying X, 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 X cause they prince is gone. We might just flex cause our money long. They selling sex cause it's selling strong. I might just bag a check, girl, and take you home. Yeah, real love, I owed you. Real love, I showed you. I wish for once that you would back me up, but I can't expect that I know you. Cause we been there and then we came through it. Backstabbed and then we undo it. A lot of people said they come through, but when it came to it, ain't one do it. We got one dream and that's. We got one scheme and that's. One theme and that's. My whole life and that's. One love, got one dream and that's. One love, we got one scheme and that's. One love, that's one theme and that's. One love, my whole life. I said there's two of us, we got one dream and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Between the both of us, we got one scheme and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Our life together has one theme and that's one love. I said that's one love. I'd rather die than live my whole life without that one love. And you that one love. I said there's two of us, we got one dream and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Between the both of us, we got one scheme and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Our life together has one theme and that's one love. I said that's one love. I'd rather die than live my whole life without that one love. And you that one love. I got my head down, arms are up. I didn't think life would be this rough. Back and forth, we went do-si-do, and then I packed my bags and I hit the road. We were making moves without a clue. I took my love away from you. Looking back, all regret. My chin is up and you puffed your chest. Cause we coming for the go, girl, we won't stop. Working and we grinding till we hit the top. Everyone is waiting for the love that we are chasing, and the haters will be hating, but we won't stop. Cause we running and we gunning. So watch out, cause we coming. One love, we in our feelings, and it's not gonna crumble, yeah. We got one dream and that's. We got one scheme and that's. One theme and that's. My whole life and that's. One love, got one dream and that's. One love, we got one scheme and that's. One love, that's one theme and that's. One love, my whole life. I said there's two of us, we got one dream and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Between the both of us, we got one scheme and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Our life together has one theme and that's one love. I said that's one love. I'd rather die than live my whole life without that one love. And you that one love. I said there's two of us, we got one dream and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Between the both of us, we got one scheme and that's one love. Yeah, that's one love. Our life together has one theme and that's one love. I said that's one love. I'd rather die than live my whole life without that one love. And you that one love, girl. And you that one love, girl. One love. One love. One love. And you that one love, girl. One love. It's one love.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole, Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3253 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustles, and your hoes? It's your boy Papa Swoleo back with another episode. And today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you as powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you bees.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Welcome to the show, 3253, Wednesday, April the 2nd. How we doing, fam? Welcome to the show. Make sure you check all the links down below for information on how you can join the Swole fam. All the Swole fam posts we go over today, all the programming, yoga, meditation, so much more is available over at swolenormousx.com. And of course, we have the brand new Swolenormous app that you can download and get access to all the content right there in your pocket, right there in the App Store and Google Play. Download the Swolenormous app today. Check it out. It's available on iOS, Android, everything you need. Any computer, browser, everywhere. Swolenormous app and swolenormousx.com. Check it out. Now available. Today I'm rocking the Jurassic Pump again. I'm really breaking in this shirt. Check out all the merch over there at papaswoleo.com. We got 20% off all new releases. I got to bring up the site again. We got some awesome new stuff over there at papaswoleo.com. This past Monday, we dropped new merch and we have 20% off the entire site. We have the brand new... Ooh, why is that glitching? We have the brand new, let me see here. Hold on, screenshot, gotta send this out. There's an error on the site. There's like a weird white space there, but we got brand new releases. Let's bring up these new releases for a second over there at papaswoleo.com. Swole White and the 7 Steaks. We got the Curl Bears. Look at these freaking designs, fantastic. Chicken is a Vegetable, Jurassic Pump. We got Don't Be a Chode. We have some brand new oversized tees, different colors for the bulk pump covers. We have the Department of Gym Efficiency, Gym City 2000, the Power Pump Girls. We got the Swole Chill Guy, I Heart Cow Farts, Jacked Sparrow, and more. We got so many cool designs. Check them all out. Those are the brand new releases. I don't know why we have this open white space on the site, though. But then, of course, we have all our best sellers. And we got some brand new stuff coming to the page real soon. So go and check it all out. Now available, 20% off everything over at papaswoleo.com, fam. Let's get into that. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, we got this one from Alex in the Swolenormous app. Alex says, after spending quite a bit of time baking myself in the sun yesterday, I overheated, probably not getting enough water, and my body started to crash before I could get my back and buys Ignite started yesterday. So that was today's workout. Since my body hasn't exactly been on my side in all this, I decided to modify it into a Maximum Swole style workout with one set, higher weight near failure. I think it worked out quite well, so I might do that going forward. All right, take care of those nips, get that sun. What is your standard flow to start your day? Give me some details. Accountability text from this past week. So let's get into a couple more Swole fan posts and we'll take a couple email responses. Mark says, my day starts at 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
I get up and use the bathroom before getting my gym bag and downing my creatine and electrolytes, which I prepare the night before. I also keep the red light on, especially the one by the bathroom. When I'm getting myself together, I find using the red light when I get up in the morning to be beneficial as it slowly wakes my brain up. Instead of turning on all the lights blinding myself, then I ensure that my water bottle is full, head out to do my training before work, Don't plan on changing this process anytime soon because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mike says my alarm goes off at 6:50. I get up and I'm at the gym by 7:15. Hour and a half training session. Then go home, eat breakfast, shower, and start work. Pretty simple and consistent. Indeed. From Clarissa, responding to how to build discipline email. Clarissa says, hello, I am being consistent with working out every day. I do 5Ks on the weekends. I want to reach a small goal of running 25Ks before the end of the summer. When I started working out, I was over 194 pounds. I'm now 184. I'm doing this for me. I want to be around to see my grandson grow up. I want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Aww. Good for you. We also have this one from Heather. Heather says, hi, Papa Swolio. I am being consistent with my weight training. I'm lifting at least 3 times a week, and I am prioritizing protein at every meal. I am also training Taekwondo at least 2 days a week outside of my regular teaching. My next midterm testing, I am working towards my 5th degree black belt, which is coming up this summer, so I'm kicking up the intensity in my endurance training. Pun intended. My husband's work schedule changed a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still struggling with my new bedtime routine. Getting quality sleep is what I am currently working on to improve. So great stuff, Heather. Good for you. 5th degree black belt. Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing. Again, if you want to get on the email list, go to makeemailswoleagain.com. All those links are down below. We send out emails a few times a week, and you can respond, and we love to feature your responses. And of course, before we move into some Knowledge Cock, make sure you hit the like button, fam. Share the show with your friends, live on Rumble and YouTube, The Daily Swole, and of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can catch the full audio and video stream. Let's get into some questions. Let's get into some questions today. So drop your questions in the comments, hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and we will start off with some Instagram questions. So drop your questions in the comments down below and maybe some topics if you have them. Drop them. All right, this one's from Martum528.
What's in the box?
Matam. Papa Swolio, is organic chicken liver good to eat? Well, I don't personally eat chicken liver, but if you're getting high quality foods, I'm sure it's totally fine. I would recommend getting some grass-fed and finished beef liver. You're going to get more nutrients, but if let's say you have chickens and you use them for the eggs, and then maybe sometimes you harvest them once they get older and this, that, and the other, I'm sure it could be a viable option if anyone else has any personal experience, but I don't think I've ever had chicken liver. I don't think I've actually had, maybe once, but I prefer beef liver. Again, it comes down to the quality of the food that you're getting, where you're getting them from. So that's the first and foremost thing. And if you enjoy it, it's probably a good thing to continue doing. Of course, the quality matters, so make sure you're getting it from pasture-raised chickens and maybe local farms and things like that. But I do know that chicken liver sometimes is more available locally to some people than beef liver perhaps. But I prefer beef liver personally. Anyone else has some insights on that, you can share in the comments. All right, more questions. Denny, we'll just call you Denny. Denny, diet recommendations. Very vague question, so you get a vague answer. Head on over to swolenormousx.com and join the fam. Start the elimination diet. Will help you customize your nutrition. We got meal planning. We have thousands of recipes, and we help you individualize your nutrition. You got to make sure you cut out all the inflammatory poisons in your environment, and of course, eating quality food, 7 pillars. So diet recommendations, very vague question, but join us over at swolenormousx.com, and we have all the content in the Swole Enormous app for you. Blue Sonic 666. Papa Swolio, what is the best way to gain weight as a hard gainer? You're not really a hard gainer. You have maybe hard habits. That's what I would call. I don't think people are really hard gainers. They're just not really eating enough food, and they don't realize how much food they need to eat. Of course, with protein, proper growth stimulus, with training, proper sleep. So the best way is to eat more protein, eat more food, but you don't have to be in a crazy surplus. What you need is to have sufficient nutrients, but also be sending the proper growth signals to your body without excess fatigue. So proper training with proper food, you are going to build muscle. It's just that simple. More reps, more weight, or both. And that's how you gain. Most people don't eat anywhere near as much as they think they do, or they eat too much crap. Laura on TikTok, if you are feeling, Papa Swolio, the burn from lifting, can this be considered progressive overload? The burn has nothing to do with progressive overload. So the burn has nothing to do with progressive overload. The pump has nothing to do with progressive overload. Progressive overload is an adaptation that your body has gone through in order to lift the same weight for more reps, or lift more weight for the same reps, or more weight and more reps. So the burn has nothing to do with progressive overload. That really all depends on how many reps you're doing. You're not going to feel that burn if you're going heavier and you're doing less repetitions to failure, like 5, 6, 7 reps. You're not going to get that same type of burn. You're not going to get that same type of physiological response. So remember, progressive overload is what's important. And you'll know if you're getting progressive overload if you are recovering properly and your programming is on point, and if you're able to increase your reps or weight or both. That's progressive overload. It's not the burn. It's not the pump. It's not how sore you are. DZ Abdullah on Instagram stories. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, if you are part of the Swole fam, you've heard some of these questions before. Answer these questions yourself in the chat. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? So I'll pose this question to you because it's a vague question, but maybe members of the Swole fam have some more insights. What if I don't have motivation for the gym? From DZ. I'm going to drop that boo audio. What if I don't have motivation? Well, you need to take action when you're inspired. But at the same time, understanding why you're doing what you're doing is much more important than discipline. So people always have this concept of motivation and discipline, and motivation gets you started, discipline gets you going. The reason why we do so much education in Swolenormous X and here on the podcast is that when you understand why you're doing what you're doing, you don't really need discipline. You're executing because you're making the right choice and you understand why you're doing what you're doing. This is why I always over communicate and over explain why we do things, because the details aren't as important as the overarching purpose behind it, right? How much steak you have in a day, how many ounces of steak you have in a day, or how many eggs you have, or do you have some chicken and steak? Do you eat? A lot of these things are details that don't matter. You have to understand that food quality is paramount. And if you're approaching food from a quality standpoint, understanding how inflammation affects your body, cutting out a lot of commonly inflammatory foods, improving your lifestyle habits, the details are going to figure themselves out. They're not as important. It's really important to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And then discipline's the easy part. It really is the easy part. When you understand what these foods do to your body, when you understand the benefits of approaching the 7 pillars the way I describe every day, that's when you really hit that sweet spot. So you don't need motivation. You don't need discipline. You need to understand why you're doing and have purpose with what you're doing. And then a lot of those details will work themselves out. If you're watching on Rumble, fam, hashtag swole as fuck. Hashtag swole AF. Hashtag Swole AF for a chance to win today's Swole card. Again, that's Swole AF in the comments for a chance to win today's Swole card. Drop that in the comments down below. Let's see. Sheena says, I can't believe the change in how I feel after completing the goal of kicking processed foods out of my diet. Let's see. Leslie White, 89 on Rumble. Papa Swole, do you have thoughts on L-glutamine? And is there a best time to take it? So yes, glutamine is great for your gut lining. It's great for healing leaky gut. I do take glutamine, and I take it in the morning or during my workout with my electrolytes and stuff, or sometimes after workout. But I take it first thing in the morning, especially if people that are having gut issues. That's a great time to take it. I like taking creatine and glutamine and electrolytes first thing in the morning, and protein and collagen and things like that throughout the morning. A lot of times I like to mix my collagen protein in with my coffee. So you can do different things. You can add it to your whey protein and this, that, and the other. But glutamine's great. Glutamine's great. It's something that I've taken on and off for years. I took it for a long time, didn't take it for a while, have taken it more consistently in the past year. And I like being on it more than like using it more than I like not using it. So I'm not saying it's something that you're going to take and wow, I feel so much different, but it's really good for your gut lining. It's really good for your digestive system. And it's an inexpensive supplement. So I would recommend trying it, and doing it first thing in the morning is what I prefer personally. Let's see. Mike Dizzle, what's going on? Holy hell, I started a push-pull legs routine this week and it's kicking my ass. Definitely more intense, hitting each body part twice a week. And this is what I generally recommend when people ask me about training splits. I think an upper-lower split is a great place for most people to start and or end up. Some people might like trying full body. I go back and forth. I was doing full body for a little bit, and then I went back to upper-lower. For the last 2 sessions, I'm probably going to do an upper body today. So I go back and forth, and it's great to kind of build the skills of frequency. So I would say anywhere between push-pull legs and a full body routine with upper-lower in between. Make sure you have experience and build experience. Try these different things. Try mastering a full body routine just so you know what it's like and you know what your capacity is and you understand what frequency really means when it comes to certain body parts. Because you're going to find that if you're training every other day, for example, doing full body, it doesn't mean that every body part needs to be trained every other day. You're training with a higher frequency. Some body parts, like let's say calves or something, may be able to get a set every other day. However, some body parts you're not going to be training every other day. So just because you're doing a full body routine doesn't mean every single body part has to be hit every other day. So a great medium is an upper-lower split because you're training body parts 2 days a week. So 2 days a week is great. 3 days a week, you may or may not see a noticeable difference. It might be harder for you to program. It might be something that you like or dislike. But upper-lower is great. If you do upper-lower rest, it might start again on Sunday. So you're getting each body part about two and a half times in a 7-day cycle. So there's a bunch of different ways to go about it. I don't know if most people are going to notice a difference between training a body part 2 to 3 times a week. But if there is a body part that you're trying to bring up, it could be more beneficial to train it 1 set 3 times a week rather than 4 sets twice a week. So try these training splits that increase the frequency. If anything, you want to make sure, I think across the board, people should be training a body part twice a week. Twice a week. And you might find down the line, once you experiment with different types of splits, that you like certain body parts more frequently and maybe certain exercises less frequently. So for example, if you're doing, let's say, a hack squat, you might not like doing that twice a week. You might not recover fast enough to train that kind of an exercise twice a week. Imagine doing a hack squat set all out every other day. I could not possibly do that. So if I was training quads every other day, I would do hack squat maybe once or twice a week, maybe, and do a leg extension the other times. Or maybe your quads, you do it every other session. Maybe you train it every other full body workout rather than every single session. So if you understand that you want to create or expose your body to a growth stimulus as frequently as possible, then you can kind of mix and match depending on how you recover, how you like to train. Again, if you enjoy doing something a certain way, if you love upper-lower, and even though full body might be more frequently, but it stresses you out and it's really challenging for you and maybe it's just not as enjoyable, you're less likely to stick to it and look forward to it. So maybe upper-lower is a better option for you. I still think people should try the different things and experience it because it might surprise you how much more progress you make with more frequency and less volume. Because the intensity should be high. Cody Coons on TikTok. Recommendation, Papa Solio, for a weekly split to train as a new dad who only gets to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Congratulations, dude. Definitely got to be in shape. Take care of your family. So if you're only in the gym 3 to 4 times a week, that's fantastic because that's about how often I train. So 3 to 4 times a week is great for an upper-lower split. I would recommend upper-lower or full body. And you could do a combination of both. You could do upper-lower rest, full body. You could do upper-lower rest, full body. So in other words, having the tools in your toolbox, knowing how to program a full body workout, knowing how to program an upper-lower workout can allow you to go back and forth depending on maybe you have a setback, you can't make it to the gym that day, so you go the next day and then you end up doing full body because you missed your lower workout and it's time to train upper again, so you do a combination and then you can kind of reset your protocol. So as long as you're opting for frequency, you can kind of mix and match and figure out what works best for you. Remember, if you're making progress, I think Mark said it earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're seeing progress with your current split, don't change it. You don't have to change it just because. So a lot of times people are doing novel stuff. they're throwing in new exercise, they're mixing it up every time they train because they want to feel sore and shock the body. And that's not how you adapt. You don't adapt by shocking the body. You adapt by consistent stimulus, exposing your body to something consistent over and over again. So that's what's most important. Love the beard. Thank you. Make sure you follow me. We're live on Rumble and YouTube. If you want to catch the full show, we're only here on TikTok for the question portion. So Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. And of course, Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to catch the full show later. Simon, 4509. Is pre-workout something that I should be taking every gym sesh or just when you need the boost? So when it comes to a pre-workout, I do not endorse any single pre-workout. I think if you want active ingredients, you can make your own. You could buy bulk supplements and measure it out yourself. Pre-workout could be something as simple as some creatine, and it could be like some raw honey. It could be some raw honey and some orange juice or something like that that kind of gives you a boost before the gym. That's all a pre-workout is. That's something you do before the gym. Maybe you take a shot of espresso and a tablespoon of raw honey and you go smash. Maybe you add in some creatine, you add in some electrolytes, and you have some citrulline and other things. You can figure out what you like best and mix it yourself. I'm just not a fan of all the added sugars or the stabilizers or potentially heavy metal issues that come with processing of supplements in many cases if they're not third-party tested, and all the other ingredients and things that a lot of pre-workouts have. A lot of pre-workouts are based around caffeine or some sort of stimulant. So I'm generally not a fan of that. You can add your own stimulant or do whatever you need and just kind of make it yourself. But a pre-workout is just what you take before the gym, and there's really no right or wrong answer as to what you take before the gym. Some people like to eat a meal an hour or two before. Some people don't like to have anything in their stomach, but they feel like they need something. So that's why I like honey, because it doesn't weigh you down. It gives you a little boost. You want carbs, if anything, before you work out, give you some glycogen, and then you can smash and then eat right after. So most of the time people think of pre-workout as a boost, which is essentially just a stimulant. So you can do that in many different ways if that's what you're looking for. Rye Guy 44, Papa Swole, I've heard you mention that you take glutamine. Just curious why that over any other era? What do you mean any other era? Maybe clarify that a little bit. Papa Solio, what's the difference between magnesium glycinate versus threonate? It's just what the magnesium is attached to, what the molecule is attached to. There's magnesium carbonate, citrate, threonate, orotate, glycinate. There's other ones too. Threonate, I believe, is something that's supposed to be more beneficial. There's usually different. Glycinate, I would take, is more of like a relaxing, maybe at night before bed, maybe something after a workout. Magnesium malate is something I also take around a workout. So you can try with some of these different types of magnesium. Threonate is generally taken before bed. I think it's better for brain function. It's supposed to be more beneficial for crossing, I think, the blood-brain barrier or something like that. Some types of magnesium may or may not cause gastric distress if you're taking magnesium citrate. Some of these things might be more beneficial if you want more regular stools, but it might blow out your butthole if you're taking too much of it. So the preferred form of magnesium for me is glycinate and malate. And I guess I would take threonate. If I was taking threonate, I would take it at night. But that's when a lot of people do take it. All right, Jonas Nyberg on Instagram. Papa Swolio, what do you consider to be quality foods? Well, a lot of what nutrition is what you should not be consuming. And most of the time, you shouldn't be consuming anything outside the house, meaning ultra-processed, cooked with seed oils or ultra-processed sugars or any kind of vegetable oils. Most products out there are ultra-processed, especially fast food, and restaurants are cooking with canola oil and spray and margarine and things like that. So quality foods are usually going to come from high quality animal sources, right? Grass fed and finished beef, raw dairy, fruits, things like that. Everyone's going to have different issues or limitations depending on what they're consuming based on genetics and your gut biome. You might have certain allergic responses based on your individual situation with certain foods. A lot of people have issues with the grains and gluten and stuff, and wheat germ agglutinin that's in Americanized foods and westernized foods. So you can order, wheat or grains or flour from other countries. And if you're making sourdough bread, you might not have issues with that, but you're going to find a lot of issues with store-bought bread and things like that. So you really have to kind of go back to the ancient forms of food preparation, which is what we've evolved to consume. So cooking with ghee, raw butter, tallow, maybe coconut oil. Those are things that are going to be less inflammatory. Things you want to avoid are ultra-processed sugars and artificial sweeteners and stabilizers and preservatives and food dyes and vegetable and seed oils and things of that sort. Yeah, ding-dongs and ho-hos are not quality foods. Thank you, Pedro. Rob Price is asking about avocado oil. I don't cook or use avocado oil or olive oil. So you want to avoid cooking because those things go rancid and burn at high temperatures. So you want to avoid cooking with those things. You're better off with ghee, butter, and tallow. I still don't know what you mean. Just curious why that over any other era. I don't know. What do you mean era? Is Taylor Swift over here? Glutamine's great. Glutamine's a good product. It's good for the gut. Ground bison and rice for lunch today. Yum, yum. Supersonic Blake, Papa Swolio, can you make a video on rest days being important because I'm struggling to take one? I say go to the fucking gym every day because most people that are watching my videos need to get off their ass and go to the fucking gym. Most people aren't going to the gym enough to take a rest day, or they're not training properly. So, yeah, recovery is important, getting on a quality program. Do you want to exercise and work out, or do you want to train? So inside Swolenormous X, we train. We train. Our programs are designed to have a specific outcome. So when you're doing one of our programs, you know that you're doing the things that you need in order to create a proper stimulus, and it's designed in a manner that will help you get those results. If you're just going to the gym and just exercising and fatiguing yourself, you're just beating a dead horse. You're not necessarily going in any direction. That's like getting into a boat and just going to the open ocean. Yeah, you're going somewhere. You're going that way, but you don't know what direction you're going. You're going north, you're going south. If you think about it, if you leave from a port, let's say you're going from Europe to the United States or United States to Europe, and you're 1 degree off. I do the math. I mean, you can go on ChatGPT or something. If you're 1 degree off, you're going to end up hundreds of miles off course. So 1 degree doesn't sound like a big deal, but in the end, you can end up in a complete different continent. So that's what I'm trying to get across, is that it might not, the little things make the big things. If you're a little bit off or you have cracks in your foundation, you're going to end up miles off course, but you don't realize it because in the future, long term, you're not going in the right direction overall. You're not fine tuning. So degrees matter. Degrees and percentages matter. And you don't want to belittle that. Because if you think about it, if you're in the gym 4 days a week for an hour, let's say you're in the gym 4 days a week for an hour, do the math. I believe there's 168, 7 times 24. So do the math, 4 divided by 168. It's like you're in the gym like 2% of your week. And you can see how much of a massive difference that makes. If you're in the gym 4 days a week, you can build a ton of muscle. That's great. That's all you need. Can you train a little bit more, a little bit less? Sure. But overall, if you're doing 4, 5, 6 hours a week, that's only a couple percent of your week. So it shows how much, what a big deal a few percent of your entire week makes. So that means every other percent makes a big difference. So if you're in the gym 4% of your week, 96% of your week is outside the gym. So every single percent matters. If you see how much of an impact 4% makes, imagine what that other 96% makes. That's why a lot of people, and if you're not doing that 4% properly, then you're not going to get results. Same thing with the other 96%, your quality of sleep, everything else you're exposing yourself to, stress, nutrition, everything else. Cerny says, how can you not take a rest day? What the hell are you lifting? You're not lifting much. People think that they're doing more. People think that more is better. People always think that. They think more is better, more sets, more volume, more soreness, more pump. A pump is transient. A pump is just in the moment. If I want to pump, I'm going to do lighter weight and higher reps, and a lot of blood's going to flush to the muscles. I'm going to see my bicep vein, and oh yeah, I have a sick pump. And then guess what? The blood reabsorbs, and then you don't have a pump anymore, and you're still skinny. So do you want to look like a marathon runner that does 30 reps for curls? Or do you want to look like someone who lifts weights and has muscle mass? I want the result. I want the result of building muscle. I don't care about the temporary pump. It feels great. It looks good. Like, it's nice to have a pump. Like, man, I'm feeling jacked, but that's not going to last unless you're building the muscle for it to stick around. So I want to build the muscle. I want the result. A lot of people think they want the result, but they go for the short-term feeling. And that short-term feeling of exhaustion, pump, and soreness is not what's necessarily building you muscle. I'm not saying they're not correlated. If I train really hard and I progressively overload, I'm probably going to get a pump. I'm probably going to feel a little bit sore the next day or two. Like, oh my God, I felt that. But it's not the determining factor. How sore I am does not mean that I'm building more muscle. The more sore does not mean more muscle, does not mean more progress. Epsom salt is great. You're soaking magnesium, essentially. Sirach, your shirts are too funny. Thank you. 20% off everything over at papasolio.com. Go pick up some merch. Now's the time. Now is the time. Partisano, so that means you're totally against the Mike Mentzner training method. When did I ever say that? Why would I be totally against the Mike Mentzner training method? I don't think you should be doing one set every 3 weeks, if that's what you mean. High intensity, low volume. That's Mike Mentzner's method, essentially. I think you need more volume, though, what he was preaching at the end, but you need proper recovery and proper stimulus. Boom. You need much less than you think you do. Dewey, can I get a Matt Damon for skipping leg day? You don't have to ask me twice.
Matt Damon.
John says, I have a structured routine. Most people think my life is restrictive, but I thoroughly enjoy my routine. My consistency provides endless reward. If something pops up, it's not the end of the world. Right? What the Jocko quote, discipline equals freedom and purpose and understanding and executing because you know why you're doing what you're doing. There's freedom in that. There's freedom in the consistency. It's good for you. People need that. Partisano says, I mean in the sense of training every 4 to 7 days. I definitely don't train every 4 to 7 days. I don't think that's enough. Mike Mentzner was great. He was great. He was ahead of his time. I don't think the frequency was on point, though. High intensity, low volume, but more frequency. I'm not doing full body every once a week or once every 4 days. I don't think that's enough. It doesn't mean it can't work, but Nick Papasoli, did you see the Wes Watson mental breakdown when someone showed up to prove Wes was not 6 feet? No, I didn't see that. What's this obsession over people's height? Who cares? Who cares how tall people are? Most people are under 6 feet. People act like the majority of people are over 6 feet or something like that. Like you're not a man if you're not over 6 feet. Most people aren't. The vast majority of people aren't. I didn't see that though. What happened? I guess someone showed up and he freaked out. I guess it was a mental breakdown. I didn't see that. Minion Cult Gang, Papa Solia, what's your workout split? I do an upper lower and or full body. A little combination. Nick says it's the fact he claims to be 6'1" despite his arrest record saying he's 5'8". That's a stretch, right? If you're claiming if he's actually claiming 6'1", 6'1" and 5'8" are very different. If you're saying you're 5'11", if you're 5'11", you say you're 6 feet, a lot of people are going to probably say 6 feet and kind of like, There's a big difference between 6'1" and 5'8". That's a big difference. That's what, 5 inches? Right, ladies? 5 inches makes a difference, right? Damn right it does.
Because
what's the thing? Most women on dating apps and stuff, they'll filter for certain height. But then if a guy doesn't want a woman who's fat, you're a bigot. You're fat phobic. That's what women should do. Women should have to list their body weight. If height matters for men, then weight matters for women. Cope. Sergeant Huckleberry. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Rest in peace.
I'm your Huckleberry.
If you guys haven't heard.
That's just my game.
Sergeant Huckleberry, I don't like barbell hip thrusts. Any good recommendations for alternatives? Yeah, I don't mind hip thrusts. I think hip thrusts are great. It's just a pain in the ass with a bar. I got into it for a couple weeks, but I have like a bar. It's just too hard to, I got to get a barbell jack and stuff, but to load 6 or 7 plates on each side, it's brutal. If you have a hip thrust machine, that's different. But barbell hip thrusts are great. They're not the be all end all. So if you want to train your glutes, step ups, making sure that, or doing like step back lunges with your elevated front foot, whether it's lower or higher, is really great. Making sure your knees don't go over your toes too much and get that forward lean. So you're getting that hip extension. Great for glutes. Also doing things like 45-degree hypers with barbells, dumbbells, and even with a band. A band is even more targeting for the glutes. Or you can do on a leg press or a squat press machine, you could do a single leg, high foot placement press. And that's really good for the glutes also. So RDLs and stiff legs can hit glutes too. Good mornings on a Smith machine is great. You could do the step ups, like I mentioned, with a Smith machine. But the most important thing is if you're trying to train your glutes, you want that foot position so your knees aren't going as much over your toes. You want to make sure you're really focusing on the glutes, and you're going to get your glutes and adductors there. All right, fam, hit the like button, share the stream with your friends. We're live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. We'll take a couple more questions or topics, and then we'll move into some balls deep content. Yeah, R.I.P. Iceman. Life is fleeting. Life is fleeting. I love RDLs. Yeah, most people, RDLs and stiff legs, most people don't really know how to do the difference there. I'm not a big, RDLs, I think there's better exercises for glutes than RDLs, to be honest. I would try that single leg press. Single leg press is great, especially on like a Cybex squat press if you have access to that, or a leg press. But that single leg, putting your foot high, even on a hack squat, you can do it single leg on many of them and put your foot higher placement for glutes and adductors. Because a lot of people think that when you're doing a deep squat, you're getting your hamstrings, but you're not. You're getting your adductors. It feels like your hamstrings because under your glute, but you're getting the posterior portions of the adductor magnus. Do your t-shirts arrive in Chile? They do. Shipping worldwide, papaswolio.com. But most people's programs, you should be doing some sort of a quad focus movement, some sort of hip hinge, whether it's a 45-degree hyper, reverse hyper, you're doing Jefferson curls, stiff leg, deadlift, RDLs, good mornings, glute bridge. Something with a hip hinge is very important. So hip hinge, very important. And you could do it different forms of hip hinge. But pretty much every leg program should have some sort of hip hinge, some sort of quad focused leg extension or press, some adductor work. Get a little bit of everything. But that single leg step up, so you can brace yourself using dumbbells. Right leg is up, right hand dumbbell, left hand holding a squat rack or a ladder or something like that, leaning kind of forward so you're getting that hinge on that top leg, and just making sure your knees aren't going over your toes and really focusing on that hip extension. Florian Rares, Papa Solio, where do you stand on push-pull legs versus daily muscle groups training? You shouldn't train anything every day, but I'm a fan of upper, lower, or full body. Push-pull legs is too protracted. You're not getting every muscle group twice in a week. Much more fatigue than you need. You don't need to segment push and pull. Overrated. Shirt is from papasolio.com. 20% off. Jax, I'm your biggest fan. Oof, you got some competition. Jack says they're my biggest fan. Aww. Sergeant Huckleberry, thanks. Really trying to strengthen the IT band since it seems to wear out first when running. Well, you're not going to strengthen the IT band. The IT band is just connective tissue. So you're not strengthening it, really. Partisano, I mean, tendons and ligaments will strengthen, but it's not a muscle. Partisano, what's your opinion about heel elevated platforms to perform front squats? Yeah, anytime you're elevating the heel, you're going to get more knees over toes, so you'll get more knee flexion, you'll get more quads. You're not getting the rectus femoris as much in squat patterns as you are in a leg extension, for example, when the hips are locked. D. Fellman, Papa Solio, are hack squats a valid alternative for barbell squats? Yes. What do I mean push-pull split is overrated? I just said it. It's not frequent enough, and there's not enough recovery in there. I'm not saying you can't build muscle on a push-pull legs. What I'm saying is you're not giving yourself enough systemic recovery, and you don't need to separate push and pull. You're probably doing too much volume in that case. You're better off training upper body more frequently. You do twice a week, do upper lower. 2 on, 1 off, or 2 on, 2 off, or every other day upper lower. And you'll get more frequency, and you'll have more recovery, and your strength and your muscle growth will go up. Mark says, I got a compliment on my Department of Gym Efficiency shirt this morning. Sent them your way when I asked where I bought it. Yeah. Good stuff. It's a good shirt. It's a good shirt. Department of Gym Efficiency. Underrated shirt. All right, we're about to wrap up questions. Nancy, I have a question. Don't ask to ask, just drop it. Any non-surgical recommendations with compartmentalization in the shin causing to drop toe? This is not medical advice, of course. Drop toe. Are you doing any anterior tib raises? Are you doing strengthening for your anterior tibialis? Sergeant Huckleberry, so where does an upper-lower push-pull legs fit in the recovery frequency paradigm? Check out some of the other episodes. We talk about this all the time. Upper-lower is great. I don't know what you mean by the recovery frequency paradigm. Upper-lower is great. You want to train body parts twice a week at least. Why do people beef on V-Shred? Because he's a hard R word. It's Nancy. How do I handle my social circle not being in the same mindset? You get a new social circle. Most social circles are exactly that. They're social circles that commiserate and stay stagnant. Most social circles, unless you're surrounding yourself with people that are driven, usually those people aren't all in the same circle. They're usually more independent. So surrounding yourself with people, whether it's podcasts, whether it's books, all these things are your social circle. And surround yourself with people that have similar goals. So understand when you're trying to improve yourself, you're trying to take your life and training and health to the next level. Most people are going to be going out, eating garbage, drinking shit, not going to the gym. You're just going to surround yourself with different people. Be the leader, set the example, but you're probably going to have to distance yourself from these people that don't have similar goals. If you surround yourself with people that have no goals and they're dragging you backwards, they're going to drag you backwards. So you have to distance yourself from them. Brunsas, is cable superior to dumbbells when doing, for example, bicep curls? No, cables, I wouldn't say it's superior. It depends on how you do the cables. So if you're doing dumbbell bicep curls, the tension is going to be most at the top in the shortened position of the biceps. If you're using a cable, the weight's going to be more balanced. There's going to be tension at the bottom of the movement. If you're facing away from the cables, you're going to get more tension. So facing away from cables is much more similar to preacher curls, for example. So preacher curls with free weights is a way to put tension on the biceps in the lengthened position, which is more beneficial. So I'm not saying don't do standing dumbbell curls, but make sure you mix it up. So you're doing some preacher curls and you're also doing maybe some face away cable curls or something like that. Nancy says, you're right. I guess I have to be more picky. You do. But here's the thing. When you level up and you start figuring out who you are and what you want to focus on and what you're about, you can look and see reflections of those types of personality traits that you want to emulate in other people and surround yourself with those people. So you want to surround yourself with people that are inspiring you. This is why a lot of you are watching me right now. It's because I'm providing information and experience. You're watching this because you're like, yeah, let's go to the fucking gym. That's why people join the Swole fam. You could join us over at swolenormousx.com. We have conversations and calls and roundtables and community and Telegram chat, Facebook group. We have the app. We're always here on the podcast. So you surround yourself with people that are inspiring you to do better, and you build off each other. You should be very picky. But when you're really working on improving yourself, what do you want for yourself? Surround yourself with people that have those things and those attributes that you want to emulate, and then you're going to be more inspired to mimic that, and everyone grows together. Danny Tosh, how much muscle do you reckon a person can gain in 3 months? Naturally? I don't know, maybe a couple pounds, most. You're not going to build a lot of muscle fast. Maybe at the beginning, if you're new to training, newbie gains, you might build some more muscle faster than at other points, but you don't build a lot of muscle quickly. This is why people overeat. They do a crazy surplus and they put on 10, 15 pounds in 3 months. You didn't put on 15 pounds of muscle in 3 months unless you're taking anabolic steroids and a lot of it. So you're not putting on 15 pounds of muscle. People step on the scale and the fat is so evenly distributed, like, yeah, I'm bulking. Look, I'm looking bigger everywhere. Really, it's just a little bit of fat all over your body. You know, so you only know if you're building muscle if your weights are going up or your reps are going up or both. And if you're building muscle, you shouldn't be putting on tons of weight quickly. You're probably just putting on fat. So you don't need a crazy surplus. And especially if you want to build muscle and trim down fat, you don't need a crazy deficit either. Just around maintenance. Focus on building muscle. Most people don't need to worry about losing weight. You want to lose fat, but you want to build muscle. If everyone focused on building muscle, the fat would come off over time, take care of itself. Annie says, I'm fortunate to live near my in-laws who are very supportive of a healthy lifestyle. My own family isn't. Well, good for you. Pooches, your worldwide shipping is awesome to hear. That means I'll get that sick merch while deployed here in Iraq. Let's fucking go. Let's go, America.
America! Fuck yeah!
A great word is no. People need to use the word no more often. Guard your time. Guard your time. You only have so much, and everyone's going to want your time. Everyone wants your time, whether it's your job, whether it's family or friends. People are always going to be pulling for your time. And if you don't value your time, you'll give it to everyone, right? If you don't value money, you'll spend it on everything and blah, 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 blah. Then you'll have no money. If you just spend all your time on any kind of impulse and things that people want, you're just dragged around and you're not really in control of your life. And most people want your time, but they're not looking to actually build anything. All right, Danny Tosh. Do I really have to do barbell squat? Scares the shit out of me, but I think all the jacked guys do. No, you don't have to do barbell squats. So that's a big misconception. Barbell squats are great. I spent a lot of my life doing barbell squats, but you don't need them for growth. You could do hack squats, Smith machine squats, leg press, pendulum squats, squat press, leg extensions, adductor work. You don't need barbell squats for big legs. Look, I love Tom Platz too. People can watch him like, barbell squats are church. You don't need them for big legs though. You don't need them. And they're not as safe. So it depends. If you're training by yourself, using a Smith machine or using a hack squat is great because you actually you're locked into position and you're more stable. And it's safer to train towards failure on your own. Mark says, majority of my family doesn't take care of themselves. Cousins, aunts, and uncles included all work in sick care and have no problem lecturing me on what they learned in their indoctrination camps. It is sick care. It's not health care. Pharmaceutical companies want you to take their products, and they want you to take them every day for the rest of your life. That's how they make money. They have no incentive to get you healthy. They want you to take their Ozempic or blood pressure meds every day forever. They want you on a subscription. And that's how they make money. I'm not saying there aren't some pharmaceuticals that could be beneficial in the short term, or you have some kind of trauma medicine, you get into a car accident, things like that. There's amazing medical interventions that exist. But these companies make money off all the injections, right? All the experimental gene therapy, especially in the last few years, or childhood vaccine schedules, or any kind of pill, fat loss, weight loss, blood pressure, blood thinner, antidepressants. It's just subscription, subscription, subscription. You never get off these things. They're not there to make you they're not there to actually improve your health. If you're healthy, you're not taking those things, and they make no money. So they don't want that. And it's not some evil conspiracy. It's just capitalism. They want to make money. That's how they're making money. Don't buy their products. Nancy, what do you think of ice baths before or after workouts? I don't do ice baths before or after workouts anymore. Sometimes I'll do in the morning, or I'll just dunk my head in, but definitely don't do ice baths after a workout. That can inhibit the stimulus response for building muscle. So lifting heavy weights, having a great workout, and then getting into an ice bath, it's not helping the situation. I'm not saying it negates everything, but it's not good, especially right after. If you want to try it before, I don't know how long before, but I would say generally you want to keep it as far away from your training as possible, and don't do it right after. LET says, I laugh at the auntie that asks me if I'm still on my, quote, little diet. It's the same aunt who's had cancer, heart attacks, quadruple bypass surgery, and rarely goes outside. Yeah, it sounds like she knows exactly, right? It's got to belittle you, like, your little diet? How's your little diet? And she's half dead. Understand, yeah, doctors don't... Look, this is not medical advice, my opinion and experience. I've been on this earth for a long time, and I've trained doctors, by the way. I've trained many doctors. I've trained physicians. I've trained surgeons. They don't know about health. I know because I've trained them. They do not know about actual health. They're usually very specialized in their field. You'd be shocked at how little they know about the physiologically of actual exercise. Like zero. We're talking zero. And I'm talking about fucking very successful doctors, physicians that like a lot of money, successful business by all accounts. They don't know anything about exercise and how the body reacts as a result of fitness training, and about being healthy. They know how to isolate, oh, this is this issue, this has this symptom, prescribe this pill, prescribe this treatment. Recommend to a specialist, right? Here's a prescription. You're going to go to this physical therapist. You're going to go to this person. Oh, you're going to go to, it's your nerves. We're going to send you to a neurologist. Like, it's your stomach. We're going to send you to a gastroenterologist, or this and the other. Medicine is not segmented like that. That's the problem. The human body is a complete system. So in the United States, for example, it's just very segmented, and there's no communication between different specialists and doctors. Like, you have 15 different doctors when it's really one systemic, holistic approach and lifestyle change that would fix all the problems. So it's just a lot of red tape and just a lot of money grabbing. You're not getting treated, you're getting prescribed. So it's like you're going to a doctor and they're like, you get Netflix. Nah, you need Hulu and Paramount Plus. I think you're good with probably Disney and probably that Peacock thing. And it's like you can stick to cable news. You over there, all you get to do is watch FX. They just prescribe different. There's so many different subscriptions. for TV and shit. There's YouTube TV, like, everything's a subscription now. Anyway, but they don't know about health. It's sick care. They do not know about health. They just don't. Which is shocking to a lot of people, but it's true. It's not a conspiracy. It's not fringe. It's just facts. And I know because I've spoken with them, I've trained them, and they do not know about physical exercise and proper nutrition. They do not. I'm not saying all, obviously some. Most don't. Have I seen the new children's book about accepting bodies that are overweight? I've seen many of these things. I've seen a lot of kids' books that pretends like there's more than two genders. I've seen a lot of this garbage. Yeah, there's nothing achieved or glorious about being obese. It's a product of poor lifestyle habits. All right, let's move on to some Balls Deep content. If you're watching on TikTok, subscribe, share the show with your friends, but we're moving and we're continuing on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. If you want to catch the rest of the show, come on over on those channels. Links are in the bio. If you go to the merch site, you'll still see links for the podcast and 20% off all the merch. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. Go check it out. And let us continue. Let us continue with our show. Man, my videos are getting completely blocked on TikTok. I posted something last night that got crazy. I posted something on TikTok last night. It got 1,000 views. 6.5 million followers. I got 1,000 views overnight on like a video. Wild restrictions on TikTok. Videos are just bombing a lot of times. That same video on Instagram. Let me see. 1,000 views. That same video on Instagram got like 500K. Wild. Wild. I got an email from TikTok. It's like, your shop, it's like, oh, your customers miss you. I got an email from TikTok shop saying, oh, your customers miss you. Come on back and offer another thing. You blocked my store. Of course they miss me. You don't show my videos and you blocked me from using TikTok shop. Of course my customers miss me. You fucking idiots. All right, let's go balls deep.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's deep.
Your customers miss you. Fuck you, Xi Jinping. You killed my business, motherfucker. All right, let's get into some videos. Pick a number, one, two, or three. 1, 2, or 3. Drop in the comments. 1, 2, or 3. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, I saw this yesterday. This is great. I'm going to share this. Someone responded to one of my posts. I guess this is obviously AI. I think it's great. Look at this. Papa Swolio action figures. Who thinks we should make these? Look at that shit. Look at that.
Fuck yeah!
That's an exact replica of my body. That's 100% accurate to every muscle fiber. Oh my God, it's gonna give me a complex. I got to get bigger. I got to take some. That's how I would look on Juice, I guess. That's how I would look on Juice. Makes me want a sauce. Look at that. What do you guys think? Should I get on TRT? Should I get on that? There you go. I need to get on that shit. Look at that. Shredded. He's got the clubs there too. It's got the mug, got the hat. Look at that. Dun, 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 dun. Fucking looks like me too. A little bit. Look at that. Actually looks like me. Look at that beard. That's great. Yeah. Fucking jacked. I'll take it. I'll take it. Looks good. It's me. Let's check this out. This is crazy, right? I saw this headline. I don't know what the latest is. I don't know if anyone else has any updates on this. Penske rented truck. And I saw this headline on Daily Mail and I shared it because ridiculous. Horror as truck mows down multiple pedestrians in downtown Boston. So this is horrible. I don't know how this story stands right now, but let me guess. I don't think the truck did it. I don't think the truck did it.
Matt Damon.
Now, whenever you don't have information about the driver, you know there's a narrative being woven. Okay? Why don't they say, if it was a white guy, it'd be like white man, white rage, white supremacist, drives down the street mowing down people. But it's a rented truck. A rented truck. And horror as truck mows down. I don't think the truck did that itself, unless it was automatically driving. Who's driving the truck? I wonder who it is. Do we have any information? Can someone confirm? This was yesterday. I don't know what the updates are. So if anyone else has any ideas, drop in the comments. But anytime the truck ran over people, who was driving the truck? I'm assuming it's some sort of illegal immigrant or Middle Eastern person or black person, something like that. I'm assuming. I'm just assuming, because anytime that they're not giving out the name of the person and a truck mowed down multiple pedestrians. No, a person driving the truck did that. It doesn't do it itself. Okay. Now, here's the other thought. This is in Chinatown, so it could just be an Asian driver. So people are saying, well, it is in Chinatown. It could just be an Asian person because they can't drive. We know that. That's fact. So we'll see. Anyone else has any updates? Let me know. And before we move on, I thought this was excellent. And this is for all the trans women out there. So here we have what a vajayjay and ovaries look like in a white woman. And here's what they look like in a black woman. Here's what vagina and ovaries look like in an Asian woman. Here's what they look like in a fat woman. Here's what they look like in a thin woman. And here's what it looks like in a trans woman, because it's a dick.
Because dickers?
There's the joke. There's the joke. Aww. There's the joke. That's right. If you're a woman, you have ovaries. If you're a trans woman, you're a man and you have a cock.
Boys have a penis. Girls have a vagina.
There you go. There you go. Just in case anyone didn't know. And in closing, right after that, we are going to give a little salute to Little America. Salute to Val Kilmer, one of the GOATs. Fucking taken too soon, and it's so upsetting, his health conditions and stuff like that. Such a handsome guy and great actor and such great movies. So throw some gains Val Kilmer's way, and rest in peace. We'll hit that soundboard one more time. We're going to hit it all the time. But
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my
Doc
game.
Swole a day. Yeah. I think he was 66. 65. I guess he was going to be 66 this year. I think he was 65. All right. So let's do this. I think we have a couple. Pitman71 says number 2, of course. So we're just going to jump in with Pitman. This is called Normal Bodies.
What's in the box?
Normal Bodies.
More beef with the normalizing normal bodies trend. Again, this is the trend where there's very thin people hunching over and being like, hey, I have fat rolls too. Let's break down their message for a second and look at the inverse of it also. They're saying, I pose and style my body to fit in with our beauty standard, but sometimes I look fat. Or their version of fat, or fatter than normal for them. But what they're also showing is that their body that does sometimes have those features can also fit flawlessly into our beauty standard. But they're claiming to do this in the name of body positivity, right? But which image do they profit off of? The posed or the relaxed? The cinched or the hanging out? If you want to break beauty standards, then you need to fucking mean it. This is just for clout.
Oh, fight beauty standards. Just whining. Just whining. Entire apartment reeks of cat litter. Again, why are these people trying to stay fat? Why are they trying to maintain? Why are they on purpose trying to stay fat and miserable so they can complain. This is why when we had Nancy on TikTok earlier asking about what do I do when my circle is kind of not helping me, the people around me aren't supportive of what I do, they're holding you back. Most times people just want to surround themselves with other people that they can complain with. If you ever had a job that sucked, what do you talk about on your breaks and afterwards? You're always just like, oh my God, it sucks, my boss, this. People just love to commiserate. You have to remove yourself from people who only just complain and complain and complain and complain. And these people just complain. That's all they do. If they fix their problems, they have nothing to complain about. That's why they constantly marginalize themselves. They victimize themselves because they're miserable and they actually don't do anything proactive. They're just complaining and blaming everything around them. So they're fat, they're miserable, and they want you to know about it. That's it. They want you to know how miserable they are being fat. And they do that by pretending they're not miserable and blaming everyone else for them feeling bad about them being fat slobs, when in reality, they just need to go to the fucking gym. Okay, let's do... Holy shit. We'll end with that one. My God. Jesus. This one's called Not About Body Positivity. Something tells me it probably is about body positivity. How is that still a thing?
I am not about body positivity. Are you kidding me? And mind you, I'm a therapist who's saying that. Therapists are about body neutrality. It is not my business what you want, because that is opinion based. The only time our clinical work comes in is anytime you're about to do something dangerous that's about to affect your life negatively. So if you want to lose weight or gain weight, I don't have an opinion on that. You do you, and I'm here to help you do that in a positive way. When I went to school to become a therapist, there was no course that sat us down and talked about you need to help everyone accept their bodies and love their bodies completely, because that's a big part of mental health. In graduate school and our training, the only time we interfered with weight-related things were when things were potentially turning into a disorder, when things were dysphoric or you were in a dysmorphia, you were dabbling in the rexias. That is the only time we would come in and talk about how weight-related things can be unhealthy, or if you were like destroying your life in the process of trying to achieve your ideal body, whether that's weight gain, weight loss, muscle gain, muscle loss, whatever you might think. It's all about body neutrality. And if anyone is forcing you to adopt any ideology when it comes to, or any sort of thinking when it comes to weight gain and weight loss, especially when you're trying to do it in a healthy way and a therapist isn't supporting you in that, that's messed up. Our job is there to help you achieve your goals in a way that's consistent, that has longevity, because we're just trying to get you to a place where you feel confident. And if that plus size people are beautiful, people at every size are beautiful, but what you feel beautiful at is important too. And yeah, that's it. Oh, like and follow for more.
Jeez. Oh my God, I want to share this video. So yeah, okay, whatever you were saying, just come on, stop whining. Cry, cry, cry. And cry some more. Come on, stop whining. All right, let's watch this video. And we have one more video after this, but let's watch this one. A woman was caught. Is that a woman? Who knows anymore? That was caught vandalizing a Tesla. This shit has to stop, man. It makes me really want a Cybertruck. Fucking bring it on. Bring it on. Let's check this video out. Let's see what we got here.
Free service.
Free service? How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off
with a
towel.
No,
it's not
no.
a key.
It is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. Did you write a swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
It didn't even work.
I'm sorry you're upset. I'm sorry.
Did you write a swastika on the... It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Did you? Is it a swastika?
I was probably putting my keys in my pocket.
Is it a swastika?
Have you looked at your car? Is there a key mark?
Yes. Is it a swastika?
That's impossible.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I
For what?
apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against
For
your
what?
car, and I have nothing against you.
So why would you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
so
way
Elon
to
Musk
show my...
owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right,
sir.
we're gonna wait for the.
Jesus Christ. You know, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's him. I was like, you think maybe it's not him. Oh, they caught on camera. Maybe they got the wrong guy. Nope, he admitted to it. Literally admitted to it. I guess I might have a problem against Elon. These people do not understand property rights. They do not understand. The hammer of justice needs to come down on every single one of these people. You're keying someone's car. You're damaging personal property. These people do not understand what personal, because again, when you're communists, you don't believe that anyone has property rights. Everything is everyone's property, right? You don't have property. We have property. That's what communism is essentially. Okay. So they don't believe that you have any right to property. They don't believe you own the car. Oh, Elon Musk owns a company that made a car. Oh my God, key the car. Idiots. Idiots and criminals. Lock them all up. Lock them all up. You don't need exceptional. I mean, I wouldn't call someone keying a car domestic terrorism. We know it's politically motivated. I wouldn't call it domestic terrorism when you're firebombing a dealership or something like that, or you're burning. Yeah, that's terrorism. So essentially what the leftists are doing, they're trying to normalize terror. They're normalizing domestic terrorism. So someone keying your car isn't necessarily, but we know why. It's politically motivated. So it's definitely a political crime. I don't even know if that's a political crime as a thing, but we know the motivations behind it. These people are not mentally stable. So we don't need new laws. We just need to prosecute to the fullest extent of the existing laws. You can't damage someone's property. Same way you can't go to their house and slash. Keying someone's car is the same as slashing tires. You go and slash someone's tires. Do you think that's okay? Do you think it's okay to slash someone's tires? No, it's not okay to key their car. It's not okay to steal their wallet. It's not okay to punch someone in the face. Personal property is an extension of you. It's an extension of your person. It's personal property. It's yours. It's an extension of the human body. That's what personal property is. Now, I don't think people should be defining themselves with their property. I'm not saying that personal physical items are more important than your relationships and things like that. But what I'm saying is that if you own something, it's yours. That's what property is. The same reason why I say if you have property taxes, you don't really own your house now, do you? Because it's not really yours. You have to pay someone to allow you to have it, even if you, quote, own it. So, but that's a whole different conversation. All right. Let's move on. We'll do one more video. Any other comments or things in the chat? This one's called No More White Males, so you know why we're ending on this one. No more white males. No more white males. You know, it's so interesting. We don't have a white appreciation month. We don't have white pride, you know? I've never thought of anything that... I've never had, like, I guess Western civilization we should be proud of. But obviously everything has to be racial except when it's, quote, white people or Caucasians. Yeah, it's really just, it's weird shit. I was seeing some other stuff about it. But anyway, this video just triggered a couple other thoughts. No more white males. This is the most insane thing you'll see. I don't know about the video. I haven't watched it yet, but the face is just... You're not going to take this seriously. Not that you would, but...
It's March 31st, 2025. I am a 58-year-old adult human female. I am formally making my proclamation, exclamation, right now to you. I will no longer be associating with any white males of any kind. It does not matter if liberal or conservative. It does not matter what color hair or eyes. As long as the skin is white and it is a male, I will not be associating with it anymore. The symbolism of a white male has become the epitome of hate. This is my former proclamation.
I don't know. This seems like it's got to be fake. It seems like it's fake, but it seems like it's not. Sometimes when things are that retarded and that ridiculous, you're like, is this a joke? That almost looks like it's supposed to be a joke. Who talks like that? It's got to be satire. That looks like just like a hoop ring that she put. Like, I know, it seems like satire. I can't tell anymore. Because, look, if you're going to purple people person, I feel like that's satire. The problem is we don't know anymore because we've seen so many videos that are not satire. So if you're stuttering like that, it seems like you're making fun of it, but I can't tell anymore. It seems like satire. I want it to be satire. Let's put it that way. I want it to be satire. It needs to be satire. Jesus Christ. It needs to be satire. I don't know what to say about that. Let's do a throwback in the meantime. All right, let's check this one out.
Allowing a child to use puberty blockers is simply just transphobic.
What's wrong with you people?
Is that the actor from Hot Tub Time Machine?
Puberty blockers allows a child to kind of freeze, allows their look to freeze.
Okay, sounds healthy.
It gives them more time, essentially, to decide whether they want to go further with any medical transition.
Because kids know what the fuck is going on in their bodies and their lives.
At any point while using puberty blockers, a child can stop.
We choose truth over facts.
No, you can't stop. No, you can't reverse it. No, you can't undo these things. All right, let's just keep going.
And essentially just have the natural puberty that they would have, but a few years later. But a lot of people, it seems like some people don't hit puberty until they get in their 20s.
Who the fuck hits puberty in their 20s? God, you cannot fix this kind of stupid.
She's a goner.
Oh my God. All right, we're doubling up. We got one more coming. We got another one. Double throwback. All right, fam. Hashtag SwoleAF in the comments. We're giving away right after this.
Reality is there are people who 28 weeks, 30 weeks, 32 weeks into their pregnancy choose to have an abortion simply because they do not want to have a baby. That is 100% okay.
That's murder. The problem, even more so, is that the baby is viable at those months. So you're killing the baby when it can live.
That is some pretty fucked up shit.
Some people don't even find out that they're pregnant until 28, 30 weeks.
You are an idiot.
Ladies, if you don't know that you're pregnant at 20 or 30 weeks, I mean, you are like a non-functioning human being. No curiosity why you haven't had a period in like 7 or 8 fucking months. I mean, if you're that fucking fat and you can't tell, like that's a huge problem in itself to begin with.
A lot of people don't have access to abortion care and have to save up PTO days so that they can travel to another state to have an abortion.
Amazon gives out gift cards for abortions for Christmas, for the holidays. What's she talking about? This is Amazon abortion card. Hey, if you don't know that you're pregnant at 30 weeks, you're morbidly obese and or retarded. How do you not know? I haven't gotten my period in a year. Couldn't be anything. Couldn't be anything. It's probably nothing. Probably nothing. But I guess when people aren't never getting their period anyway and they're super irregular and they're pounding their body with hormonal birth control and all that stuff. Again, I don't know who's banging these people, right? Who's banging these people? Dudes, you gotta make a better choice. got to make a better choice at 2 a.m. when you're leaving the bar. Like, do not inject these people with your seed. They should not be reproducing. Yeah, you don't feel the baby kicking for like 4 months. You don't feel the baby kicking for months. Yeah. Okay. No, I thought I had Taco Bell, so I felt something in my stomach. Sure, bro. Sure, Jan. Okay, let's give away today's Swole card. Hashtag SwoleAF for a chance to win today's Swole card. Let's give it away. I thought I had gas. I thought I just had to fart. All right, today's winner, Leslie White, 89. Hey, yo. Sorry, Leslie Asian and Leslie Black, you are second and third place, but Leslie White today is the winner of today's Swole card. Congratulations, Leslie. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. 3253 in the subject. Your mailing address in the body of the email. Awesome. Congratulations, Leslie. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got in closing. So we have new stuff. We have new drops over in the Swolenormous app. If you're not yet, join us, swolenormousx.com. We have all the new drops right there on the homepage. We got the Swole White and the 7 steaks. So new merch and everything always drops right there on the homepage. Level 2 Creative Flow, Express class with Alex. We got new recipes like pineapple guac, rack of lamb, sweet potato, spinach, egg muffins. Great new recipes. And of course, as you scroll, you'll see the previous week's releases, all that stuff available here. We got featured classes for this week. We have all the sections, everything else you need. Of course, we have the awesome community section. We got the masterclass section with all the education that you need to accompany all the content here, full programs. Let's click on the programs link. We got 90-Day Dash, Swole Season, Swole Mastery, Maximum Swole, Scorched Earth, all the accessory programs. Got a lot of great stuff. And of course, all the amazing releases. We have so many things that you can choose from. And right now we have our winter favorites featured. Of course, we're going to come into spring and summer, but we got a lot of great stuff. Join us now over at swolenormousx.com. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Ellie T says, have a great Tuesday. It's Wednesday, Ellie. It's Wednesday. And it's time for you to go to the fucking gym. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button the way out. Share it with your friends. Leave a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcast. And we will see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't